Hi. I don't know if I'm going to talk a lot today. Well, I am the kind of person who is probably going to start by saying that and then talk for an hour. But this week sucked. Last Friday I had the day off work and it was a really nice day. Like I slept in, I baked cookies, I went to my friends with the cookies, and we had a lot of coffee because now she has a espresso machine. And it was so nice to have this like, afternoon coffee with your friends in in hours that I would be working otherwise. It was so nice. And then I had a good weekend, a good Saturday. There was this event at church where it's like hours and hours of singing, and it was like a marathon. So I was there, and it was really nice. And on Sunday, I staged in and I rested. I didn't. I have to have once in a while this 24 hours without seeing anyone. That is very important for my mental health. And why am I saying this week sucked if I had such a nice weekend? Well, that's because when I got to work on Monday, my teammate was fired. She was fired on Friday. And I was just devastated, and I'm still devastated. This has been a pretty difficult week for me adapting because now I have my workload and her workload to do. So there's that. I didn't even write down the list that I usually write down. And I don't want to talk too much about my job because I would rather leave that to therapy. But thankfully on Tuesday, usually my therapy sessions are on Thursday, but this week it was moved up to Tuesday, which was perfect because I could like vent, and think about all the changes in the scenario and what to do about it, and like organize my feelings on it. That was nice. And yeah, that kind of led me to be, I don't know, kind of under the weather for these past days. But then life is this, high and lows. So yesterday I started something that is going to be a challenge for me. I started a series of videos on Pride and Prejudice. I am rereading Pride and Prejudice. So I decided to I made some stories the other day, talked about the first 3 chapters, and it was so nice. Like, even if nobody watched it, it felt so good talking about it because it's a book I love so much, and I talked about it last week. So I decided to like bring it to the feed and make videos. So I made an introductory video yesterday, and finally I felt like happiness in the week, because it was really nice to research and to let it out and to post it, and it's good. Like I feel it's really nice to put it out there, and I think people are going to like it. So it's daunting. Like, I wasn't thinking through when I decided to do it, because Pride and Prejudice has 61 chapters. It is divided in 3 volumes. So that's a lot of chapters. I didn't think this through, but it's fine because I'm on chapter 12 now, I think. And I mean, I can do it on my own, rhythm, so it's fine. And I've been then organizing my ideas, quotes that I made already prepared the like three or four chapters, and I don't know how often I'm gonna post, but I mean, at least like every 2 or 3 days I'm gonna post a new chapter, so that's nice. I think it's going to take a while to do the videos themselves. I think the book I'm going to read it pretty quickly, I guess. But the past years I became a slower reader, so I have to take my time. But a good thing also this past weeks that I'm reading almost every day, which is great. It's something that I really want to do, and it's been really nice. I'm still reading Pride and Prejudice, I'm still reading, of course, the Bible, the Message. I'm still on Genesis. Now we are starting Jacob's story. Jacob was pretty crafty, right? He was smart. Like he bought his brother's rights, like firstborn rights, and then he stole his brother's blessing. Of course, his mother has, a say. I think Rebecca strikes me as a very strong-willed woman. When Eliezer, the Abraham's servant, goes to their family's house and he finds Rebecca, and he asks if she could be the wife for Isaac, and her father, her brother, ask her if she wants to go, and she's like, yes, I want to go. And now she obviously has a favorite son, that is Jacob, and she does everything for him. And from what we have in the Bible, not a lot for Esau. How do you say Esau? Like in Portuguese you say Esau, but I don't know how it's pronounced in English. So anyways, so Esau, she doesn't do anything for him, and I think that it definitely shows that Esau has mommy issues. Like he has really complicated wives, and she hates his wives. And his father's favorite, but it's not the same, right? I guess it's probably horrible when you realize that your mother loves your brother more than she loves you, and she openly shows it. So I kind of found some empathy for Esau. And now Jacob, he ran away to his uncle's place, and that's where he meets Rachel and Leah. So it's really interesting. I really like the storylines in the Bible, like in general. And this is a very interesting one. Isaac was more of the quiet type, and we don't have a lot of stories on Isaac. I think we have the stories like with his father, and the story of his marriage, and the story with his children. But we are going to have a character that does a lot more in Jacob and Joseph. So that's nice. I'm doing things like from memory. Okay, this week I finished The Atypical Family. It's a great drama. It's 12 episodes, which I think is great because it's like shorter, easier to watch it through and finish. First thing I wanna say, the aesthetics in this drama are great. I think the aesthetics from like, photography, the sets, the colors, it's all very like poetic, artsy, very pretty, and that is topped by a beautiful score, a beautiful score, like a beautiful soundtrack. The instrumental soundtrack is amazing. Like the first episode, when there was the opening the opening sequence, I was like, this song is so beautiful. What is this? Like it, and it's an original soundtrack, and it's so good, so good, so good. The score is beautiful, and it's very like fitting with everything. So the drama has this like poetic vibe, this poetic atmosphere, and great characters. I like all of the characters, so we have a lot of characters in this drama. Like two sets. We have the male protagonist's family and the female protagonist's family, and every character has their own thing, their own storyline. Every character is able to show who they are. And I said a lot of characters, but it's like 9 characters, 10 characters. But all of them are very well explored throughout the whole drama, which is great. And yeah, I didn't get the ending. But I think that was kind of a plot hole that didn't make much sense to me. But it's fine because it's so good. I liked it so much that I can like forgive the last, like 3 or 4 minutes of the last episode not making a lot of sense because it was a happy ending. So it's fine. Give me the happy ending, leave logic out. But definitely got me thinking about like the lore of the drama, because it deals with superpowers, it deals with, time traveling. So, uh, you start like making theories and trying to understand how these things work in the universe of the drama. But nevertheless, like, it was a great drama. I love it. It's so, so, so good. I loved it. I have watched this movie, the new movie on Netflix. I forgot the name. It was out like this week. Zac Efron is on it. What is the name? A Family Affair. So I think I talked about it in a previous video, how Netflix is considering, when they approve a new project, one of the points they're considering is the potential that this content has to be a second screen, because they are now factoring in that people are going to be on their phones while they watch the stuff. And it's so funny because this movie to me kind of confirmed it, this information, because I watched it, I think, on Sunday. And on Sunday, I downloaded this game that I like playing, because I was like, I have nothing to do all day, so it's fine. I'll download the game, I'll play the game today, and then I'll uninstall again. So that's what I did. So props to me for keeping my promises to myself. It's something I'm trying to do. I think that's the theme. Keeping the promises I make to myself. Being faithful to those, even though only I know those promises. But, I saw this. Okay, I'll talk about the movie later, but I saw this quote once that said that confidence involves keeping your promises to yourself. Knowing that you can trust yourself to do the things you want to do the things that you thought you had to do, that you should do. And it's so true. I definitely agree with that point of view. And it's, it's something I've been trying to do, like keep the promises I make to myself. So, this Pride and Prejudice project, and posting consistently on social media, all of these things have been very helpful, very important to me. So that is great. So anyways, I downloaded the game and I was watching the game. I was playing the game and I watched the movie, and like I was able to follow the movie while playing the game, and I can say that I kind of spaced out at some points. And like it's a, you know, it's okay. It's an okay movie. It's not great. It's fine. Um, so it's this girl. She works for. She's an assistant to a movie star that is Zac Efron, and he's a very like self-absorbed movie star and all. And then he's very, he breaks up with girls by giving them like this box that looks like a box for an engagement ring, but there's like diamond earrings in it. It's like a classic, boyfriend giving diamond earrings when the girls are expecting a proposal. So he does that. And then he gets involved with her mother, who is Nicole Kidman. They get involved, and it's like her worst nightmare, of course, because her boss is awful, and she kind of hates him. So, I mean, it's fine. It's okay. Not very like, maybe because I didn't pay that much attention, I didn't think it was much like deep in any level. But it was okay. It was okay. I don't think I like laughed out loud at any moment during the movie, but I wasn't paying that much attention, and still I know everything that happened in the movie. So whatever Netflix is doing, it's kind of working, but like, is that good? Is that a good thing for us as a society? I don't. Also, it's been very cold since Monday. So we had like a month without rain. I think maybe a little over a month. And my nose was my nose is malfunctioning like always. My nose is defective. Like I have rhinitis. So my nose is always kind of bad, but without rain for such a long time, it was horrible. And then it rained on Monday, and it's still raining like non-stop, kind of non-stop. And I think it's going to last the whole week, and the temperatures dropped a lot, so it's very cold, but I'm not complaining because we needed rain, and it's raining like all the time. If it's not like raining heavily, it's that, little drizzle, very light drizzle, that is almost like a fog, that is very, and my plants are happy. They are all outside, soaking in the rain, and rainwater is good for plants. They really like rainwater. So they are happy, I am happy. I am more like hydrated overall. I do drink a lot of water throughout the day, but the water was so dry, and I was using like a humidifier, but even so, like, it was unbearable. It was really bad. But now things are better. The city where I grew up had like long times without rain, like sometimes 2-3 months from especially from like June, July to September. Sometimes I remember when I got back from my exchange program, I got here, I think it was August 11th. It didn't rain until like the end of September, and it hadn't rained before. uh, that for a long time. So there you can easily go for like 2 months without rain at all, 2, 3 months. It rains very little. This city where I live now is not very far, but it rains more than there, way more. So that's good. I really like rain. I always liked rain. I think because I grew up in such a dry place, I love rain to this day. The only thing I've wanted is that I had the days off from Monday to today, because then I could enjoy the weather, just, lying down and watching movies the whole day. But yesterday I was brave enough to do dishes. I have to do dishes today again. You have to do dishes every day. But it wasn't that bad, and I'm having a lot of soup and ramen and hot chocolate, and no complaints. It's perfect. Yeah. So it's a mixed feelings week, I guess. And I think that it's like one of the hardest parts of being an adult is navigating through all of this, right? Because whether you are sad, whether you are happy, you have to keep on living, you have to keep on working, you have to continue, like you must go on somehow. And it's not always easy, like, especially on Monday when I had like the shock of the news. I was very disoriented because I had to remember everything that my teammates did. And she did a lot, and I do a lot as well. So, it was, I was reabsorbing that, because before she came in, I used to do all of those things. But she was working with us for 2 years. So, I got used to having her do a lot of the stuff that I used to do before all by myself. And now I have to get back to that. That is hard. That is very difficult. And that is very disappointing. Like, this week I got definitely really mad at capitalism. So, capitalism sucks. It's the worst. And it's like there's nothing we can do really to, change the system. We as individuals don't have power enough, and not only individuals, but like poor people. We don't have enough power to do anything. So yeah, that's hard. Okay, so I think this is it for today. I'm still very, I don't know, down. And the weather doesn't help. Like, I love rain, of course, but like the rain, the cold makes you want to be more, quiet. And so there's that. Yeah. I think I don't know if I talked about it already, but this week I have been consuming a lot of content on children's exposure in social media. That is a very interesting subject, and I'm really glad to see that, because I haven't been a teacher for some years now, and I don't think I'm ever going back to being a teacher, like in the traditional sense, like working in a school and all. But children and teenagers are definitely a subject that I have learned a lot about over the years. I have worked a lot with teenagers, either as a teacher or in church. So it's like demographic that I really care about, and I am really happy to see people discussing more about what are going to be, the long-term effects of exposure in social media when it comes to children and teenagers. These kids, they are raised on social media, and they are sometimes the center of their parents' content. So saw I saw a lot of videos about it lately, and there's this influencer that I follow. She's on this journey with her own children. She's learning along the way, and I think she's doing a great job. So when it comes to this kind of content, I thought of two questions that we should ask ourselves. I think the first question is, if this person, this influencer, stopped showcasing their children, would their content still be relevant? Would it still be good? Would it still be interesting? And the second question is, if one of these influencers' children asked their parents to not show anymore in their social media, in their videos, would they say yes and respect that wish? Would they respect their child's will about their own, image, their own body? I think these are two very important questions, because I think there's a lot of influencers that are, family, motherhood based, that would never do that. And it's very concerning. There was this law approved, I think, in the US this past week, that parents that are influencers, YouTube, social media, that have children focused content, they must set aside 15% of their gains for the child, which I think is a great start for thinking about that. We have a lot of cases of child stars who are very famous and they make a lot of money, but they don't see that money because their parents spent everything, and or everything is in their parents' name. So they did all the work, but they receive none of the benefits, and they have no financial security. So I think that's a start, but I definitely think we are going to see more and more from now on of this movement of regulating the exposure of children on social media. And I think that's fundamental for us when it comes to protecting these new generations that are coming. It's something that worries me a lot. I don't even follow. I don't think I follow anyone who has I don't follow anyone who has content focused on that, because I think it's possible to talk about motherhood and to talk about family without showcasing our children all the time. But social media, they definitely promote a lot more content that have children, because they know that it sells, that people like it. So, the whole system has to be, it's one more symptom about how this, savage, unhinged capitalist system, what it's been doing. I think this children situation is definitely one of the symptoms, just like people being more and more diagnosed with, ADHD or depression, anxiety, this becoming like very common health issues. And the worse, how jobs are getting worse and worse, and payment, and how our generation doesn't really have the means to like buy a house or anything. You know, these are all symptoms of a dying system, and I think this exploitation of children, and it's so frustrating, right? Because I think in the like 50s, 60s, that's when children really started to be, you know, studied, and people started learning more about infancy. And maybe our generation, like people born in the 80s, 90s, and so on, we were the first generation that was completely like raised thinking they are children, they are not mini adults, they are different, they must be protected. We must teach them, you know, to live in this world, to be functioning human beings. But children are different. And how the development happens, how children, you know, the pace at which they develop over the years. So all of this is very important knowledge, and something that it's very recent. And even though we learned so much about children, about infancy, about children development, about socialization of children, you know, and so on, still we don't know what to do with children as a society, and that's very frustrating to me. And we are still not understanding how serious it is, the task of raising a child. Yeah. So this is a subject I've been thinking about a lot. And I think, yeah, I think about these two things. If you follow someone whose content is very centered on their children, think about it. Like, if the parents had to, if they couldn't show their children anymore, would their content be relevant? And if one or all of their children asked not to show up anymore on their platforms, would they do it? Would they say yes and respect their decision? I think these are important questions when it comes to people who use their children's image, you know, publicly. And yeah, I'm going to finish here. I think it's, yeah, this week I'm kind of uninspired, but in a way I'm inspired as well. It's weird. The human brain is, you know. But thank you for being here. And I promise that next week I'll be better, I hope. I'm not going to promise it, but I hope I'm better. But this week, besides being sad, I'm very, as you can notice, I'm very indignant with the ways of the world. So I'm always kind of indignant over how the world is, you know, moving. But this week I got a little bit worse. So something's gotta change. I've been working on changing things in my life, and I think I'm going, you know, in a good pace on that. Yeah. So see you next week. Hopefully on a happier note. Yeah. Bye. Bye bye.